Okay, we were gonna do this one. Bud Light. Always brewed using the choicest hops, best barley malt. And what the fuck? Rice. I was gonna say a bad word. What the hell? You know, Arkham Reporter had. I'm gonna link to that video too. Very entertaining on his Innsmouth Gazette channel. He drank this poor innocent European lad. Says, let me see what's all the fuss about this Bud Light. Okay, it's like it's almost like you could say a found footage horror in his backyard or his garden. This is monstrosity. Now Bud Light, right? I always like that. Of course, there was an issue with Bud Light the last couple of years. Okay, where you had I don't know. I still don't know what the hell that person is supposed to be. Okay, he's it's not technically a trans person. I don't know what the hell he's supposed to be. But some broad had the bright idea to put this person here as a spokesperson or something to that effect. I don't even think it took. I don't even think it got to even the first stage of what they were planning. To the backlash, the anti-woke backlash. It was very amusing, although in the end, I feel like there's no head anymore, right? I shouldn't mention head in that stuff. I was more offended that this was such a crappy fucking beer, man. This was the best beer. You have country music songs, and I despise country music probably more than how I feel about the LGBT brand. And the Bud Light is frequently, it has been mentioned in more than one country song. Okay, like I said, it was almost like the real issue was that Americans drink such crappy beer. Okay, I'm not gonna even bring up the fact that Bud Light, the company that owns it, owns almost all the other beers. Right? So I don't know how the boycott is working now, but it should have been boycotted. Mainly because this beer is horrible. I don't even. Oh, you haven't drank it yet. I've had these when I was younger. Okay. The Arkham Reporter had mentioned you can taste the rice. Now of course there's rice as what? Many of the Asian beers, per se the Japanese beers and the Chinese beers, Sapporo, Asahi Dry, Qingdao, these beers use rice, okay? But it makes sense that they use rice. I mean, rice is also used in sake and other beverages. And the taste is there, but it's different. It's crafted with more care than the Asian lager beers. In this, it's just, a cheapness. It doesn't taste clean at all. It tastes, it's already losing its taste. Dare I say, the Silver Bullet, even with its fizzy, dominant taste, is better. It was better tasting this. That's right. The Coors Light is better tasting than Bud Light. Ugh. Oh God, I think I feel my testosterone dropping. Oh Jesus. Oh man, the liquid goddess, right? It turns you. If you drink too much, you get pregnant. A belly like her. Oh God in heaven. Anyway, enough for this Bud Light. I've given too much attention to this. We'll finish this up with an unexpected and not so easy to find light beer. You wouldn't believe it. Okay, rounding out this video of beer horror, nighttime horror. We start with Michelob Light. Okay, interesting. American light lager brewed with a blend of Hallertau, Strisel, Spalt, and other hop varieties. St. Louis, Missouri. Now, Michelob Ultra is, if you go to, it's not so easy to find this Michelob Light. It's there, but you see, of course, the Michelob Ultra is the bigger seller. And like I said, this beer is sort of a version, kind of like that kind of new generation of very light beer. But I was very surprised with this Michelob Ultra when I had tried it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now, like I said, light beer is the worst beer style in the world. However, this Michelob Light is not bad at all. Okay, dare I say, it's on the level of the flight beer. It tastes, I don't know how to describe it, sort of like how the German beer, okay, which I don't mean to compare it to, but it has a very clean taste, and it's very hard to really get across, I think, what that means with words. You have to taste it. I think you might understand if you drink quality beer what I'm talking about. This is actually, like I said, this is, for what it is, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, surprising. So, now, what can I say? Is there anything else to say about the light beer American, Hopopcalypse, right? Get it, Hopopcalypse. This night of horror, as this was. Well, will I defend light beer? Okay, you know what? I will say this. Today was nearly 100 degrees. The humidity was up there. It felt like, I kept saying it almost feels like in the middle of summer in Florida. It feels like you're on a heavy gravity planet. You feel the weight lifted off you when you come inside to the air conditioning that Europeans laugh at. Okay, until they move to the hotter regions of this place and are almost like sent to an alien planet. The American beer is a thirst quenching beer. Okay, cold, tasteless beer, but you can understand why in such a hot place this would get a place. Also, Prohibition did a number on the beers also. And I will say this probably don't hear this a lot. A lot of Americans picked up their drinking in the modern era, which is to say, after the war, always the war. Okay? A lot of Americans, men, picked up their drinking habits in the military. Everyone knows this. This is not a secret. And amongst other things, they picked up in the military, like drug habits. Okay, but a lot of guys became big drinkers after being in the military, whether they were in the wars or not. And so the near beer that was in the military to try to keep the men from being too drunk. When guys got home from the service, this kind of beer was sort of the beer they were used to, maybe a little stronger, but the same kind of light, tasteless beer they had in the army, of course. I keep mentioning, like with myself, this was always just a chaser for them, for the hard stuff. Right? So, a little interesting American history you won't hear too much about in terms of alcohol, you know. But I guess you where a ice cold beer like this would make sense in places that are very hot, you know. But I would always argue that the Germans make incredibly refreshing, clean tasting beers that have flavor as well. So there's really no excuse in the end for this. So I could blame it on American empire, but maybe I'm going a little too deep into that. No, I'm not. But anyway, there's your light beer expose. I hope I hope you got something out of this. So, like I said, the Michelob Light and the Flight actually did well. Okay, good night.